Hey peeps, I'm NeoZeoHenshin's, and welcome to my top 10 of worst anime I have ever seen. That's right, we're back for yet another top worst list, and just like I did for the worst video games about 2 weeks ago, here I'm presenting my ones I've at the anime I've seen and yet I've despised. And the thing is that long ago I did of course my top collection of anime and my favourite anime of the time, and now it's come to a point now that I should present my worst. And you know what, I think it's, and lucky enough, this is going to be the last, unless I'm going to do a redux of said lists, whatever that can be in the future, but who knows. Like I mentioned in my my Don't Laugh in 3D Land video, I said I want to get these videos, I want to get these worst lists out once and for all before the new year starts, because obviously you want to start the new year fresh and renewal, unless there's actually bad anime titles in the new year, but who knows, as I digress. So as I said before, these are just my opinions only. If you like these series, fine, more power to you. You like what you like, we have our own opinions, but this is my list. You can make your own lists and assumptions, but these are my notes, so keep that in mind, okay? Anyway, let's get started. Roll it. Number 10. The Sky Wizard Academy, the Asterix War, the Irregular at Magic High School. It's a bit of a cheating start, but this is low on the list for reason being, as I'm going to explain shortly. And before I get into this list, there's a lot to talk about, so I really need to pick up this pace, so especially when it comes up to the runners up. So yeah, these three titles in particular. This is the problem about anime series nowadays. It's these sort of common tropes, these sort of things. And I go and judge them from my list right here, especially these three. These three anime titles, they're all generic, the same sort of thing. It's the stereotypes and again, like I said, what's bad anime nowadays? It's like you got say like the Sky Wizard Academy. It's your typical harem sort of thing, and it's like a person is about who's evil, and suddenly these sort of girls are like, oh, we despise you, then you know how it goes, and it's like they'll be falling in love with this funny same person, and ugh. As the Asterix War, again it's like the same scenario. Even like the beginning of the episodes, like the main hero actually sees the girl getting dressed and all thing, and hentai, you know, they fall in love. And as for the Irregular and Magical High School, it's the same generic stuff. And my God, I mean, all this is in common with all school. Of course, this is aimed for high schoolers in Japan, but man, oh man. But this one, the Irregular High School, this is the one that really grind me gears. I think I only watched these episodes about once, and then I just gave up because I just know how it goes. But this one takes the piss. It's like a big brother and a little sister. And by saying that, you know what this is going. And the big brother's like very popular and that sort of thing, and the sister is like very humble by her big brother, and in some sense, she definitely likes her big brother's wand, if you know what I'm getting at.
I don't like where this is going.
And that's the problem about these, that's why I cannot watch No Game No Life. It's that whole brother and sister sort of thing, and I just cannot, I just can't fathom it, but as I digress. So yeah, lucky enough, I didn't watch any of these series completely, because they're just the problem about anime nowadays. It's the same generic sort of thing, but however, later in the list, there's more genericness happening, so prepare. Number 9, Terraform Mars. Hear me out. This plot sounds very interesting. You have cockroaches sent to Mars to sort of terraform and test it. However, that's due to time and years gone past, they start mutating into these huge humanoid creatures, like caveman creatures. And these people gone sent there to test out and to fight these said cockroach monsters, or aliens, I would say. They spice themselves with like other animals or insects, and they have like certain abilities. And I thought, that's interesting. Like some of them are like a wool spider, or a soldier ants, bullets, that sort of thing, and so forth. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. And then, however, then you have like bloody politics and the racism and the sexism and that. And my God, speaking of sexism, it's like what 2 to 3 times there's bloody women in refrigerators, and oh, that's not good, and that hurts by this somewhat interesting series. But I just stopped, and but thankfully I've not had to watch the live action film. Oof, because I heard it was bad. Number 8, Gun X Sword. Now here's another problem. Yet another series has an interesting idea. You have these fighters, and they have like these massive robots which assemble weapons. It's like the main guy's weapon. I think it was Dan, I think his name was, I'm not too sure. His main robot is like, well, obviously robot, and it's a sword. It's a sword, it's like literally come from space and go into the planet, and they fight. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. However, speaking of Dan, I think that's his name, I don't know, correct me down here and future me, that this guy, he's not like your typical main hero. This guy is so bland, he's boring, and is like mopey all the time. Yeah, I know his tragic backstory, that sort of thing, but it's just, that weighs me down. I just can't relate to a character who's bloody mopey, that sort of thing. And that'll become the flame when it's come to the next part of the list, but as I digress. Yeah, the character himself is dull and boring. The story was all over the place, and especially certain scenes. Yeah, that really hurts it. And oh, that's another thing on my pros list. Part of it is I like his sword. It's like a cloth sort of thing. Well, it's like a belt. It's like he put his sword around his waist, and he takes it out. He gets the sword and slice and dice, and that's really good. And that sucks having a series on that list. Number 7, Devil May Cry, the animation. And you may notice from what I said back in my my worst video games list, I mentioned about I do not like Devil May Cry 2, and I mentioned about the anime. And guess what? The anime, this makes it on the bloody list, because just like Gun X Sword, Dante himself is just bland and boring, that sort of thing, and he does not turn into his devil form at all. In the very end of the episode, he may apply, he actually awaken his sort of thing, but no, you do not see his devil form whatsoever. So that's a fucking cock tease, and the whole his whole shtick of eating like bloody was it strawberry ice cream sundaes or something, and just doing it very blandly. The Dante I like is meant to be a jokey sort of thing, and I could relate to, but no. And the problem is that it's the animation style was done by Death Note, and yeah, I like Death Note, but man, it's wasted on here, and yeah, it's absolutely forgettable. And I just hope once the new Devil May Cry series comes out by the same person who did the Castlevania series, hope he did a good job, better than this anime. Number 6, God. Oh my goodness. Speaking of another boring and said poor choice of animation, God. Interesting ideas. You have these kids with their own personal robots, just like any sort of anime series nowadays. But the problem is about this series, just like it did for say Witch Hunter Robin, and my god, that one's so boring and dull, that one. Interesting ideas and stories, but the colours were just drained, the characters are boring, and oh my goodness, it sucks. And yeah, like I said, it's tropey, and it's just awful, man. Number 5, Gungrave. Again, another one I mentioned on my worst video games list. That's Gungrave. I love the games, but the anime itself sucked. It's boring. It's far off from the bloody game series. It's like, I think even like some of the character designs, especially when they're obviously the bosses. But the majority of the first half, I think, is just focused on more the mobsters rather than the fighting the monsters, that thing, and mostly human stuff. And it's like, I know, even like the first game does not make any sense with stories wise, especially the sudden appearance of a bloody alien sort of thing. That don't make no sense. But as I digress, this anime is just boring, dull, and I mean some people liked. I think one YouTuber liked, and I thought, why? What's so interesting? Gungrave, I know it's got to be different from other series. That I really prefer if the Brandon Beyond the Grave. Well, no, sorry, Grave, main character's name, fighting the creatures, that sort of thing. And of course, it's done by, the animation style is done by the people who did Trigun. The one thing I kind of like with Trigun, I just like the weapons and whatnot, and this had very interesting weapons, but the anime fell short with that, so that sucks, man. And speaking of Trigun, number 4, Surprised. Oh boy, this one, this is also done by the same creator as Trigun, and the thing is that this series is that I kind of like, I think one of the things I kind of like is I like personal machines, personal personas and persona stands or what it is, that sort of thing. I kind of like that sort of thing. But this one is, man, the animation on this is awful. Cheaply made even. You can see from the whole series, it's like just how loosely edged and digitally poorly arted it is, and it's not just animation that's just appalling. The some of the plot points is annoying. It's like absolute, such like one particular. I don't know what they call it, that they're sort of stands or persona type things, but one's like a very phallic gun, and one is mind control, and the whole team group Hope, and then there's the whole Third Reich sort of thing, and like Jewish migration sort of thing. And okay, if you had more understanding, watch Animerica's review of three-parter of Secreted. There you go. We'll mention it more in detail. What is wrong with this whole series in particular? Number 3, Virus Buster Search. Oh my goodness. The reason that caught my eye of watching this is that I kind of like, again, it's another personal robots and mechs, that sort of thing, but no, the animation style on this, oh my god, it's one of the worst animation. It's worse than Secreted's animation style. This one is, that art style and the characters' movements is like, oh my goodness, it's horrible. Especially the, I know there's obviously, we live in the day with shonens, that sort of thing, and I know even like I'm watching recently of the JoJo series, and even the men starting to look, their outfits look inappropriate for dudes to wear. But the problem is that this series and the whole, I don't know what other series this artist did, that he mostly draw men very effeminate. You got, especially like on the title, you got like a guy who looks like a bit of the very typical gay guy you see in like club sort of thing, and just like One Piece, I am not a fan of its art style. And fuck me, bloody One Piece had more appealing story plots. Oh, and speaking of One Piece, I've got this to say about One Piece in general. And 18 plus years and they still haven't found the bloody One Piece. But yeah, Virus Buster Surge, don't, it's just bad. Number 2, Sword Art Online. Yes, it's gonna be on this list, and man, oh man, I've got a lot to say about this one. So, I am indeed in the SAO hate club. So, here a hater of SAO had to say about this series. Like I said in the beginning, if you like said series, fine with you, but this is just mine. So, this is what I gotta say, and I've gotta fend this out. So, prepare. It'll be the most obvious stuff with what's the problem about SEO nowadays is that you got bloody Kirito, who is obviously OP as fuck. He has a fucking harem despite the fact he already got Asuna. The story plot the plot has massive plot holes. I know the whole word of suspension of disbelief, and I know anime is not real, man, that sort of thing, but this makes no sense. The head honcho who made said this arcade world, that sort of thing, he trapped everyone in his world. In the very end of that one part of the arc, Kirito made art with this creator, and the creator said, like, I don't know why. It's like, why are you done that? That's a poor fucking excuse. Yeah, I know that I heard that the light novel series or the manga is much more better, but frankly I'm not going to read that after this hatefulness. And the fact is that why the fuck this trapped in the world, and people trapped in there for a very long time, especially showed it in evidence of shown like Kirito like sort of limping out the hospital sort of thing, and it's like, are there like parents and people concerned about people trapped, and there's like the head of the company and saying like, why you get our fucking kids out, ask this fucking asshole to get and then of course people say, oh yeah, the first half was that bad, but the second half of the of season 1, woo boy! I know some people, I think most people do not like it, especially when we have bloody Asuna getting, I think I have been heard that in the light novel, I think she got raped, if I do believe. I don't know, correct me down below if that's right or wrong, I'm not too sure. But, and of course, just like it said about the problem about anime nowadays, you gotta answer an incest plot with fucking Kirito's cousin cousin, half sister, part stepsister. I don't know what the fuck it is for the fucking these fucking anime series. Honestly, who hired the guy of improving incest? This guy. But yeah, I just then why the fuck it had the plot of fucking Kirito's cousin having a thing with her other cousin. It's like, oh my fucking god, why? Oh my goodness, now I'm fucking reminded of fucking Vampire Hunter, that fucking incest plot and the whole bloody Twilight funny hype. Ugh. And that's the problem as well, it's the overhypeness of it. And I didn't think most people talk about the newer season 3, but that's very odd. But thanks to this series being populated, now we got like other, was it Isekai series? Isekai being some other worlds. You got like seriously like ReZero, was it Konosuba and so forth and so forth. Oh, that's what I've got to say about this in particular. About I remember there's a point in the series I just stopped immediately. Okay. You have interesting. Was it the second episode when of course Kirito is fighting and why he call himself the Black Swordsman? Fuck you. You know, there's only one Black Swordsman and it's Guts, for fuck's sake. And of course, was it third episode? I'm not too sure. When Kirito's with a group, and there's a point when he's up against this sort of Father Christmas character. I thought, oh yeah, it's gonna be an awesome battle. Then it cuts, and then Kirito comes out and is like, bullshit! I want to see that. I want to see that awesome battle. But no, budget reasons, I guess. So that's it. And episode 4. I believe it's episode 4, I'm not too sure. It's an episode that involves something of a murder that happened, and the Kirito and Suna are trying to ask people questions, and they are about to ask this one girl, and she was like crying, that sort of thing, and suddenly, next thing, notice, this happened. A freaking ass shot of something that's very serious. Look, don't get me wrong, I like fan service, but placing something like this in an awkward situation, when you have something that's heartfelt, and suddenly this happens. It's like the animators saying like, hang on, something serious. We need something. Oh, I know, fan service. You know, it's like dangling keys in front of a kid sort of thing. And you know, after I saw that, I literally went like this. Done. Yeah, just like that. And that's the problem. And that goes straight. Same thing goes for Donnie and the Franks. It's the same. It's in the first episode. In the first episode, I try to get into it and start the bandwagon, and you know how that ends. But he dropped the shark moment. And in the first episode, when the same scene happened, it's like everyone's talking serious in this lift, and suddenly the next shot, and there's like they look. And so the next shot, you see an arse shot and a guy talking and say, okay, the mission's about to start. A freaking arse shot! For fuck's sake! Oh my goodness. I love fan service, but you can't put dangling keys situation like this in fucking anime. I love anime, I really do, but sometimes they can really piss me off. I think nowadays, I'm this older now, it's like I both love and hate anime at the same time. Love the things that anime can achieve and do stuff from animations and story plots and whatnot, but then you got fucking the worst aspects from introducing these sort of plots sort of thing, and who knows what anime can do nowadays. Dishonorable mentions. Now we're heading to the last stretch, and it's before the dumb one slot. And as for these dishonorable mentions, let's get straight into it. And there is quite a lot of it, so let's do this. Okay, first things first. Stray Jacket, X and Karas. They had interesting ideas and plots, but sadly that all fall short. Especially Stray Jacket, interesting idea. I really like the idea of magical suits and they fight monsters. Same sort of thing, but sadly it's 3 episodes into one film, and there's no sequel. Real shame. X, really interesting idea. Of course, it's based on the manga itself, but it's dragging, it's logging, and again, incest. And I think I heard that it's got lost in translation when it got dubbed, so there's that. Karas, I like the idea of that sort of crow-like hero, and it can change its appearance from a car, a jet, that sort of thing, in action. Especially the first part was good. Second half was crap. It was very disappointing. Fairy Tail. Oh my goodness, Fairy Tail. A series I used to like. At the time that I was liking from Bleach to Fairy Tail, and now from My Hero Academia. But for Fairy Tail, it's magical, it had fantasy, that's what I really liked about it. But sadly, just like it did into the halfway point of the series run, just like it did for Tolaru, the sales were getting a bit very low, and you know what that had to means? Plot, 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 plot. That's right, they had to add in fucking fan service and add sex right in your face, that sort of thing. Yeah, especially Tolaru got really much more explicit. Because I remember watching the 13 episode one, and I was like, okay, that's very tame fan service, and then suddenly, boom, and you got like, was it Munto and Darkness? You add like extra fan service, you see nipples, you see asses, plenty of more explicit stuff, and Fairy Tail's adding much more the sex stuff sort of thing, and there's a point in the series that I had to stop. There's a point of involvement of Urza. Now I'm showing you a picture right here of what is shown from the manga to the anime. The manga, you see Urza naked, obviously not the obvious stuff, and in the anime they obviously carved it up. But in the manga, if I know rightly, and I'm judging from the scans I saw, she was getting absolutely like tortured and like. Not like tortured, but I mean like sexually tortured. It's like you see like blushing, and it's like torture porn basically. And I think even like the villain applied to sort of fingered her as well. And this is for a kids series, and no, that's just wrong. You can't make things to win your audience over to sex. It's like that desperation sort of thing, like I mentioned in oh god, what was it? Sort of online sort of thing, and Diana and the Franks. There's the same problems I had with High School DxD. Is I heard the actual plot was actually good, except for the fact that it's like every 5 minutes Rios had to get Blaine naked and display her tits or any other sort of the women in that series. It's like, yes, I get it, you're ridiculously hot, you're on my waifu list, but why you have to show tits every 5 minutes? It's like, that's what the internet is for. Looking at that's the internet's for porn. Have you heard that like Avenue Q song, for crying out loud? So no, I can just get into that. It's just like the same problem with Fairy Tail. Bleach. There's one point that really got the series really starting to watch weekly, and it's not really good. And sadly, halfway point, I think most people will agree that the Soul Society arc was the better one, and then afterwards everything turns to crap. Especially the whole spoilers head, like the. Orihime going kidnapped, and then part of Aizen's plan, and suddenly the whole reason I thought Aizen might use Orihime because of her abilities, but at the end of that particular arc, it's only like, oh, you're not needed anymore. It's like, because it's just like a crux to get some of the the Soul Reapers, the Shinigamis, or what it is, into what's it called, that Hollow World, and trap them there, and of course had to fight in the Rangers and back in the Ichigo's place, and it seems pointless. And speaking of pointless, just like the Kirito fight in Sword Art Online, there's a fight when you had Byakuya and Kenichi, I think it was, about to fight against Yami, who turned into his huge super resurrected form. I don't know what it's called, and they cut it off, and they bypass. I thought they actually come back to it, and then suddenly they came back to it, and he's already dead. It's like, bullshit! I want to see that something awesome battle with especially Byakuya and Kenichi, and that'd be awesome, but nope. And oh my goodness, and it's just like Sao, Aizen is OP as fuck. Originally, he was my favorite villain until I realized he's just as OP as fuck, and he does remind me like like a bloody a poor RPG player. It's like, oh no, you didn't stab me, I was behind you and I stabbed you from behind, that sort of thing. And oh my goodness, and the battle against Ichigo and Aizen, that's a bloody dick measuring contest. That was. It's like, oh, I'm powerful, I'm more powerful you, I'm powerful. Oh, it's like I tapped you in, you down. Oh my goodness. Oh. And you could tell from that point that series got it. And I think I heard that ending didn't do any favours as well. And that's a point actually I forgot to mention. Not just Bleach, Fairy Tail, and My Hero Academia. I noticed that The Grey Man, a series I used to like. I really like it. The gothic Victorian steampunk thing, and I kind of like the whole innocence abilities and that sort of thing. Such a fan of that series. And then just like any old stories, just like Bleach and Fairy Tail and To Love Ru, they had to go and fucked it up. And of course, it doesn't all help when the author is literally taking not occasional hiatuses, and that's a bad thing. And I think I remember there's a point in the mangas I just literally stopped. It was okay. Spoiler again for D Grey Man. There's a point when the Noah clan reveal themselves as their true names, and I thought, wait, their all names are Japanese, but why? Their design style become different. I know it's done by a female designer. It's done off like almost like a typical shonen one, and then suddenly it's done to become much more shoujo style, and it doesn't feel right. And especially like Alan's done to become much more shonen and much more effeminate like. Because yeah, and obviously he's a part of Noah sort of thing, but no, I felt betrayed from that series. A promising series made by stupid mistakes. Samurai 7. It's obviously based on the classic Seven Samurai film. An interesting idea of a much more like futuristic one, but sadly that didn't go anywhere. Power Stone. The anime. Yes, there was an anime adaptation of Power Stone. Power Stone is one of my favourite fighting game series. And then of course there's the anime series, and it's rather forgettable. And fuck, it even bloody done my man Jack Bad. Only like one transformation, and that's it. He disappears after that, and oh, that sucks. Nobunaga the Fool. Interesting idea, especially like Japanese world and a Western world, and they are like at wars. You have like Joan of Arc, and they have Nobunaga, that sort of thing, and have like mech battle. But I just gave up like the first 2-3 episodes, but it's like constantly saying Nobunaga, you're a fool, that sort of thing. It's like, yes, I guess it's the name of the title, but they constantly say it every single time, and it's like, I could start a drinking game, but no. Mayan Color Phantom World. The animation style looks absolutely beautiful, except for the plot. It's just rather a bit not as pleasing. It has some interesting ideas, like the whole illusion sort of things, like each beginning of the episode mentioning about an optical illusion, that sort of thing, and that brought up, but even like the ending is like, ugh. But one thing I got out of that series, a pretty hot waifu, May. Little Witch Academia. Now don't get me wrong, I really do like the that short film one, and the problem is making a TV series out of it. It just doesn't seem right, and I think I'm not the right sort of audience. It feels, well, yeah, obviously it's made by a brony, but it's definitely aimed for young girls, that sort of thing, so, well, at least I got something to show my nieces to. Soul Taker. Oh boy, this one. This is like the beginning of the early stages, was it, of the 2000s, and this is starting to dive into the digital art sort of thing. And just like Elf, A Tale of Memories and Melodies, they try to do that sort of artistic style sort of thing, and the problem is that throughout this whole thing, there's sort of like this sort of just blank colour, like for example, like, and they do like a different action, and then that's that sort of thing. So there's trying to be that like artistic sort of thing, but no, and that's the problem with Soul Taker. I was like, because back in the day, I watching it, I was like, oh, this is really good. It's like dark gothic, that style, and action sort of thing. Then I rewatched it lately, and I bet, it didn't age at all well, especially that very crisp, very sharp digital style. And, Big O. I was really liking it, especially the first half. You got, of course, it's sort of inspired elements of Batman, the animated series, and hell, the opening is a mix between Flash of Queen's Song and was it Ultraman? That's sort of the old silhouette sort of thing. The problem is that, again, it's like the whole personal mecha sort of thing, but the first half was really good, but then second half it goes delve into much more philosophy sort of thing, and oh my goodness, that's usually like happens in most animes. It's like second to last sort of thing. They bring up the whole philosophy sort of thing, and this one's like throughout philosophy, like, what does it mean? What's it, that sort of thing, and nah. Junie Tyson. An interesting idea story of a modern battle of the Chinese zodiac sort of thing, and however the ending just fell short for me. But another thing that I got out of it, another waifu, but I felt sorry for her because I really did like was that Siriu? I think that's her name. Okay, her character's like she's what was it? Killing in Peace. That's her tagline for her character. It's like she like negotiates and it's like helping out, but of course there's some circumstances. And she even mentioned to the Rat Kid, I think it said about the fight, despite the fact that she's helping out, but then more will happen, more conflict, and it's killing more people, and she feel guilty about it. And I was like, oh, I feel bad for you, girl, but a shame. Fate's Day Night. Now, there's so many of these name titles that have interesting concepts, but really didn't do favours. I know the Fate's Day series have like a lot of them, but this one in particular, you have like legendary characters. You got like I'm about to say one name, but I'll get back to that eventually. You have like Medusa and some Irish hero, Hercules, that stuff and so forth, and like do these sort of battles sort of thing. That's really interesting. And you have like the main girl Saber, and of course they fucked it up royally because of the fact that and they said that she is King Arthur, and I thought, hang on, but King Arthur's a dude, and I have to look much more further research, and basically there is a female version of King Arthur. I don't know, it's like, I don't know, like a female take of the King Arthur legend. That's what's supposed to be, but I think this lost in translation, and you think of this lost in translation, you obviously see the most infamous subtitles of that series, and yeah, but I know, I haven't seen the rest of the Fate's Day series, but there's definitely some interesting characters, and of course, was it one character, was it Frankenstein, that girl, was it Frankenstein monster? I don't know which it is, but of course there's the obvious the source of where that cursed plushie come from, so there's that. So for all that lot I mentioned, I think I got all that lot up.
Disappointed!
I suppose those ones are the more difficult mentions, but these last four I've got to bring up, and man, it's not as bad as gone the worst list. These are bad, but I think it's just these are the problem. Okay, first thing first, I've got to mention about Quato Stigmata. You don't know about this one is that this story plot. Oh boy, the plot in this one is that these people have like alchemy style powers, like they control metal, copper, that sort of thing. But to gain their powers, they have to have breast milk.
Excuse me, what?
That's right. To obtain the power of the alchemist powers against their opponents, they literally have to expose women's breasts and suck on their breasts and have their milk or soma to get access to their powers. And I'm just thinking, I was like, is this supposed to be a hentai? Is it like supposed to be like, was it Black Bible? Black Bible has probably more hentai than this, but maybe exclusive. I don't believe they can get away with that. And speaking of plot-wise, and the next one on my list is, I just heard about it on Clips and Pictures, Menu Scroll. Another, oh my goodness, these anime plots, what the fuck, man. This plot is based in ancient Japan, and the society is ruled by the size of women's breasts. The bigger the breasts, the more humble and noble you are. The flatter or the smallest your breasts are, you're the lowest of the low, sort of thing. And you got the main hero girl going around and cutting women's breasts, and she gets bigger and bigger breasts, and I can't believe I'm making this shit up. I wish I'd make this stuff up, but no. Does it ever exist like that? Why? Rumbling Hearts. I have not seen it, but again, I gotta bring up Animerica's The Hard Way. They did like, was it 14 episodes? I don't know, something like that. And this one, thankfully I have not seen it, but I've seen clips and bobs of it. But the reason I'm going to bring this up is that I've got to mention about this girl in particular, Mitsuki. I don't often say this on video, but I'm going to say this once and once only, just to perfectly describe of this woman in particular. She is the most biggest cunt I have ever known of in all of anime. The biggest bitch of all the anime women I know of. She is manipulative and, oh my goodness, if you watch the anime, or that review, it is, thankfully I did not watch it until I heard about it. And although I haven't seen it, but I started hearing about this, You think that Boku no Pico was bad, but this one, hopefully I can pronounce this right, Kodomo no Jikan. This one, this takes the fucking... This is in the same subpar from Boku no Pico. There's a teacher who teaches this young, I don't know, it's like pre-8-year-olds or something like that, and there's 3 girls in particular. They love their teacher. I mean, they really love their teacher. And excuse me. Yes, and throughout this whole thing, you had fucking like the whole ecchi things, and oh my goodness, fucking Japan, why? And my number 1 of the worst anime of all time is Ninja Resurrection. Now, this one, you may think that Sword Art Online was going to be my number 1, but no. This one obtains all the things as betrayed, offensive, outright stupidness. This anime, I was fooled by the title, because I thought the title, you see here, Ninja Resurrection. Judging from the font, I thought that it was a direct sequel to Ninja Scroll, and I thought, oh, that's really good, because I like Ninja Scroll. And then I watched it. There's a few points, there's some really interesting parts, and then, oh boy. The plot centers around an actual Japanese figure who's converting Japanese people into Christianity, and it's a massive battle sort of thing, and of course when the plot unfolds, and then suddenly we have like guys like calling for God for striking down his villains, and I was like, what? And oh no, it gets worse. And then suddenly this guy asked the figure to have sex with his daughter so he can impregnate her, and it becomes Satan, and oh my goodness, and it's getting bad and bad. And the second half, and it turns to a lighter tone, and then you see like the whole raping that's happening, and my god. And you know what, I think I might as well just put the links down below for this reviews. Check out Animerica's Samurai Gun. They mentioned about that series about the whole steampunkish sort of Japan, and just like that, it is very misogynistic, and oh, it's bad. This makes matters worse. This is like the 90s time of anime, and this is a 2-parter, and there's no sequel, there's no spring off point, there's no sequel to it, that sort of thing. That's 2 episodes, and it's left in a cliffhanger, which I wouldn't mind more of it perhaps, but I know I was a dumb kid, but no. Of all that's all happened, I think good. It's a good thing this thing has brought up. And it's a good thing that this thing came to a series, because this would be absolutely awful. I could name like other titles on top of my head. Say like I heard like was it Poopa? I heard it's just god awful. And of course that's like the most infamous ones. Say like Mars of Destruction, which I haven't seen, but name a few, which I especially like I mentioned about Boku no Pico and so forth. But sometimes we experience the goods, and there's of course the bads, but lucky enough, on my said shelf, I've got my wrong part of my shelf. Also, I don't know, it's hard to tell from down below. Of course, I've got my animes and that sort of thing, and there's definitely some top favourites. Just look back on my collections and my top favourites of the animes. Watch that video, and you see how much more better animes there is, despite the fact there's some bad ones. But if it's your own judgment to know what ones are good and bad. What I usually do for said animes, watch about 3 episodes, or 3 or 6. If you like how it goes, continue on. If you don't, then give it a pass, because there's like tons more better or worse animes out there, so give it a shot. Yep, and that is it. No more worst list for this year, and that's a good thing, because at least now we've got it out of our systems, and we're going to head into the new year all positive, that sort of thing. In case, oh my gosh, that reminds me. I still need to bloody watch Black Clover. I need to see for myself. Yes, I know about the of course the obvious Astar's screaming, but I don't know if it'll be as bad watching it on dub. I'm not entirely sure, but who knows. But like I said, we're going to judge for ourselves. But sometimes we have to venture through to go the bad stuff to see the good stuff in the end. Well, thankfully, that's all done. mini therapy from me is it's best to get things out of your system and actually press on the good things, and that's what I did for. It's a bit funny doing it, especially on the time of Christmas. But don't forget the whole tagline for Christmas: Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And Happy New Year's, that's what's important. It's preceding the new year with with high possibility, hitting those aims, which I must be mentioning in a future vlog, and so forth. So yeah, so let's see. Next video would be, hang on, if I know rightly, depending what's gonna be. Oh no, let's see. It may be a quiz or a test sort of thing next week, so prepare for that. So yeah, thank you much guys for watching. Think G'd, and I will see you guys next time. Ta-ra!